Hello, hello, welcome back. We have returned
We're back.
with more hijinks and all the same people who were here before.
To be fair, a lot of these are low jinks.
Yeah,
Hijinks and low jinks, you need both.
Some mid-jinx?
Before we get started,
Okay.
I'm going to see if I can show off the art that Lars sent us because it's very good.
Oh, yeah.
Please
Give me
do.
just a second here.
Oh, good grief. Has he already done frogs?
Of course.
It's very
Sweet.
good.
Mother of Canada. How does he do that?
Just getting it pulled up here.
Something in the water in Tirana.
Tirana.
I mean, there's a lot of things in the water in Toronto. It's Lake Erie, Lake Ontario. I forget which one it is. It's Lake Ontario, isn't it? That
Lake Ontario.
Toronto's on the shore of, or is it Lake Erie? I don't remember which one. One of them heavily polluted lakes.
I swam in Lake Ontario in the last summer I was living in Toronto and got an instant infection.
Oh no.
Seems like
You got a what?
Like an instant infection. Like I was sick by the time I was going home from the time there.
Yeah, not recommended. Oh God, I love that. I love my favorite part, of course, is the Tromlin pressing on the inside.
Yes. I like the arrows in the butt. It's just funny.
Yep. I mean, I do quite love that it's sort of styled after Michigan J Frog.
Yep.
Michigan J Froghemoth.
Yeah.
Only the only other person could be is Kermit. I mean, really. Oh, he went for the less obvious one. I respect that.
Thanks, Laura. I love it.
Yep. It's very good.
Amazing.
Once again,
Okay.
shout out Lar and his store because, go buy Lars art. Lars the best.
Yeah. Lars doing another MS drive right now.
Yeah.
Someone wants.
And my character's avatar is done by Lar. I did a quick doodle of my dwarf, and then Lar took it and actually made it amazing. I mean, the only thing that he kept was it's a dwarf.
I love how it's the exact same design that you had. That's
Yes,
what I love
with
about
the
it.
tabard and the layered skirts and whatever else, and oh, it's amazing.
Yeah, someone throw a link in the
Yeah,
chat
I'm
for
just trying
the.
to find one.
Someone posted it in the Discord earlier today.
Cool.
For Lars
Lars.
Shopify.
There we
The
go.
current MS
Thanks,
drive.
Howard. That's the one I was looking for.
Is that the one?
I know
he's
it may
using for the
seem
MS
like
drive?
I'm super fast on the keys there. It was already on my clipboard.
Copy paste done.
Oh, there we go. And Kai2 has posted the link to the MS site
Sweet.
as well.
Excellent.
Okay, so when we last left our heroes, they were dealing with a strange haunting. They were dealing with
Stranger than normal
in-laws.
Another family member has come to dinner.
Yep.
Well, they say that possession is 9/10 of the in-laws.
Good.
We all know
Yes.
that that's basically what Peter
9/10 of
spent
the
the
what?
entire-
I missed the punchline.
No, possession is 9/10 of the in-laws.
That's the second title for this episode.
That's what Peter spent the entire break doing. Was
Yeah.
coming
No,
up
no,
with
that one came to me. I used that pun in a card for the Deck of Worlds thing that I just finished working on. It was about possession in like a court case involving jurisdiction of a body that's possessed. And anyway, so that one was loaded from previous, but it didn't occur to me until right then.
Good.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Tromlin, you are cooking up some more viscera from the Froghemoth for this. All you know is it's a new family member that is male, apparently, according to the pronouns used by Copernicus to yell at his shadow. That's all you know about this new relative so far.
So I will make a quick dish of some eye, tongue, and heart. Maybe a little kidney too. Just why not? Flavor.
He
Put
would
some spice in
probably
there,
like
Wrong
the
kidney.
same things that Barb.
and also spice it a little bit. To be polite because it's company. You want to impress them. So the 21 to cook.
Ooh.
Excellent. You make a very, very tasty plate of offal.
And I put it on a rock in the vicinity of the shadow, so Perny can kind of guide the shadow towards it.
Just waft your shadow past the food.
Yeah.
It's starting to
I'll-
get
I'll
kind
do
of
that.
spirited away vibes.
So what are you doing, Copernicus, here with
I
this?
think I'm just
situation?
gonna be talking to myself and just saying, I suppose perhaps your concern is around people finding things out, but I might point out that in fact you are drawing more attention to the things. Does the Streisand effect exist in this universe? Is that a...
It's now the
Yeah,
Shecky
but
effect.
Streisand is actually the name of a powerful demon.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, Balzor
Name must not be
Streisand
spoken.
of the ninth hell.
if you go away now, I will draw no further attention to it, and I will not help any investigations that may be going on into things you may be concerned about, and we'll all just forget that this ever happened. Wouldn't that be lovely? You can take your plate to go, and for the record, I have no idea where you are, so don't worry about getting tracked down.
Oh, good. It's not just me.
The plate of food catches on fire.
Good. Great. Wonderful.
Well, that's rude as fuck.
Oh, good.
It is.
Unless that's how they eat.
Maybe.
I don't know.
You don't want to assume, but it still seems a bit.
Maybe he likes burnt offerings.
Yep, just merrily burns for a while.
Is the fire
There are
purple?
a number of deities who consume offerings in exactly that manner. Although I feel like I might be assuming a bit much that any of them are what we are currently witnessing.
I try and remember as much as I can about Shecky and what kind of his deal was.
It's
been
interesting
a
that
while.
you asked that. So the thing is, a lot of Shecky's deal is similar to a lot of Barb's deal, and so there's a significant question as to how Copernicus is aware of it. Like, as you know, Copernicus is aware of these things through a certain filter. So, yeah, I'm not sure.
It's my out of character theory.
He
'Cause
had a
Shecky-
job similar to Barb's.
Yeah,
We'll say
I know that, and yeah, but he is more upon this plane than she. So
Well, actually, I believe it says in your background that you weren't aware of that or weren't certain of that.
yeah,
beyond
I
a
was
big
suspecting
hunch.
it. I had a hunch, I believe, and I do believe in hunches.
Now your hunch may be more than a hunch.
Yeah. So I think that this was a warning because he has higher stakes in this than someone who is no longer upon this plane in staying undiscovered because he has a current cover to blow, basically. So my theory is that he just wants us to drop this, but I think he's drawing more attention to it, and I would think that if he just goes, we'll just drop it. I won't get involved, and Tromlin is his own thing. You have no dominion there. You can't tell him what to do. Try telling kids what to do, right? Can't do it. And the job of a grandparent or granduncle is to spoil, not in like a rotting sense, to spoil those your spawn that walk upon the earth. So I think we can all just say this was a lovely visit, and you can go now. The message has been received, and I promise not to speak further about family matters.
Can I hear any of this? Is this a...
Purdy, saying this out loud.
He's
Out loud.
talking to nothing. Yeah, he's
Okay.
just sitting there talking.
Oh
to
no, I'm quite convinced that he's talking to something. Player knowledge. Hollis, one of his flaws is haunted,
Yep.
Oh,
and it hasn't manifested yet because of reasons I've just figured out.
Yep.
interesting.
But Pony, I believe I understand your plight. My great-grandfather, who I will not name for reasons that will shortly become obvious, was something of a mass murderer. And
Yeah, that's a problem.
Oh,
yes,
you got one too.
and I have found that he very, very much dislikes me being around forges. He was a smith, being around forges and mentioning anything about him. It's almost as if in whatever life comes next, he suffers every time someone talks about his crimes. Now, I do not know if this is what your guest is suffering from, suffering you with, but I just like to say, understand, and I believe you may have made the right offer. I will keep my mouth shut if you'll just leave me and mine alone.
And I will look at the darkness like, well, how does that sound?
The darkness does not
Good
answer, as darkness is prone not to do. Is anyone going to try and get any sleep at this point? I mean, Perny obviously not, because he doesn't.
I will try to, because I still have to get some sleep so I can have spells.
Yeah, I need to still have some more sleep. I think we were midway through my watch.
Yep.
Yeah, I didn't do anything super intensive in that fight, so I can afford to stay up. Didn't burn anything that needs recharging.
Can I sense Barb around anywhere?
So the usual sort of haunting that you experience, you're pretty much just getting that heebie-jeebies, but you don't know if that's Barb or if it's Shecky at this point. Like, you got the feeling that that Barb's kind of shut down. Like the bucket is gone almost mundane.
Yeah, Perny really doesn't like that. Really doesn't. I have not been without her since the Myconids, and that didn't go well for anyone. So maybe, I guess, I'll say I think everyone should go back to sleep. I will keep watch. I'm happy to keep it on my own, if that's all right. And let's all just go back to sleep for a bit, see what morning brings.
Sure thing,
What
Grandpa.
makes you comfy, Grandpa?
I think we should all sleep closer to the fire since the shadow can't get to us there. I won't say that out loud. I'm just going to do it.
Certainly does seem like a cold night. I can imagine wanting to huddle up
be warm.
Warmth. Be near. Yeah.
So I'm assuming then for the rest of the night you're sort of continuing to entreat with your brother-in-law.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be very much like, what do you want?
By morning, you don't need to make a roll for this or anything, but you have like a high level of Arcana. By morning, you're more or less convinced that that any sort of spirit of Shecky is not actually here.
Yeah.
At least not any longer. But that you're bearing some kind of curse.
Okay.
Which you're very used to this sort of thing. It's kind of the family business.
Just a little curse.
Just a regular old curse.
But as the sun rises and the daylight grows, you kind of step out and get a little bit of a look around and notice that your shadow is still mostly shaped like you, but it does kind of move different. Like if you turn your head to look at your shadow, you don't see the head turn on the shadow like it should.
Like it's always watching you.
Yeah, and it kind of has like something reminiscent of a jackal head.
Okay.
Also not ideal.
That's great.
And if you ever look closely at it, you'll actually see like red eye pinpricks in the face of it.
Cool.
Reminds you a lot of a number of demons you've known.
Can anybody else see that?
Upon close examination, yes.
I mean, we're going to be probably paying
22
attention.
on a 22 on a perception check to notice
Oh yeah.
the shadow's not moving right. My goodness, that looks uncomfortable. Copernicus, are you feeling well?
I would consent to a clerical diagnosis and forcible removal of the problems this problem that ails me, only this one. If someone was able to do that.
Granddad, I don't know how to do exorcisms. I'm very sorry.
Oh, it's easy. You just you gotta stretch first. Make sure you get a deep stretch in before you do any exercise.
29 for my god for the day.
Oh, excellent. Yes, this could be interesting. Let's see
yeah.
where that goes. Just give me a quick sec to pull up the chart. Randy's God list. Ooh, it's a new one.
Finally.
It's a halfling god. So you rolled Aladarama. Sorry, I just reversed two of the letters because of dyslexia. Aladamara. Which is a often called the laughing rogue, patron of bards.
Oh, neat.
Nice.
God of music, revels, wine, rogues, humor, and tricks. Symbol is a twisted harlequin's mask in half black and half white.
Well, then I will sing a song as my morning offering to it as we begin. I also pack with my. I assume I find in my pack the book that's been returned.
Yes, you do. You also find a note with it.
I will read the note to myself.
Okay, I will just tell you because it's not like a big secret. But the note just says, "You deserve to know, but I don't want to watch you find out."
Oh.
Made me sad.
I think that while Tromlin is singing and there's this like big thing going on, he might try and do a snap banishment on his own shadow and see if that's the thing he can do.
Yep, you sure can try.
He's gonna try.
I believe I have to make a saving throw for that.
If there is anything indeed to make a saving throw for.
Yeah, if there's anything truly there to make a saving throw. Yeah, the target has to be a creature that you can see. Yeah, so nothing happens. Maybe, no, I'm going to throw some flavor on it because it's fun and because this is a black token. I'm going to roll a saving throw. Yeah, so your shadow disappears. You have no shadow for a few moments and then it comes back. And when it comes back, it kind of flickers like a bad VFX moment.
Arcana of 20, dirty 20.
Yeah, you know a curse when you see it. Somebody's got some kind of like crazy like you no longer sense the presence that you sensed last night. There may be just like the faintest traces of it, like one would expect if like the effect of a spell cast by an infernal or an undead was still lingering. But you're like, yeah, this is a curse. You need a remove curse.
Mr. Copernicus, I have what's the colloquialism? I have good news and I have bad news. The good news is that what has befallen you is clearly a curse. The bad news is there are really only three ways to clear this up. One of them is for the person who cast the curse to uncast it.
I don't think he would do that.
The second is to muck around with magics we don't understand until something horrible happens to you and the curse goes away. It's typically very painful and very messy. And the third is for someone who is far more expert than me to research this curse and cast the equivalent of one of those magical ring of wishing kind of spells to make it go away.
Well,
It's possible that there's a fourth option that I'm unaware of. I mean, apparently I'm unaware of 3 different kind of fucks. So
Don't worry, we'll expose you to him soon.
that's not exposure's not necessary. An explanation will suffice.
Sorry, I'm a visual teacher.
Oh,
It's the best way to learn, really.
I cannot close that door, can I?
Tromlin looks at our new friends like, just be glad you weren't here when I met the God's Avatar.
Oh boy.
And by the way, Perny, you can sort of sense Barb's activity again, or at least the bucket is more active than it was last night.
I'm going to.
That's a great
I think
sentence.
like Grandpa's gonna do some morning stretches, which he doesn't normally do.
trying
But
to exercise.
while doing that, I'm gonna run through a bunch of different can I cast spells? Can I do my cantrips? Can I write in my book? Like just seeing if any of my normal functions are not working the way they normally do. Can I ghost gaze?
I forgot the whole reason I said anything is that I noticed you attempting some banishment and your shadow went away. The only way to banish your own shadow is to alter the way the light interacts with your flesh. And I am here to tell you that is not an effect you wish to make permanent.
No. Worth a
So
try.
you were shooting for option 2.
So speaking of which, what magics are you attempting?
I'm probably going to run through my cantrip list. My
Seems good.
okay. I'm gonna try my blood magic stuff with the knife. I'll do one thing, so I'll cut myself for 5 damage.
And which one?
Yeah, as you do.
As one does. Yep.
Let's do.
You're like literally watching him here as he's going, now let's see if this stuff works here.
Yeah, I'm gonna try a.
Speaking in demonic.
Is there any wildlife visible that I can try a maddening mind splinter on?
There are
Sure.
some.
There's a squirrel. No one will
Yeah,
do it.
frogs. Shitload of frogs.
I'm not touching one of Ugna's subjects.
Oh, good,
that
thank
would
you.
be an incursion into a domain that I have no rights in. But there's no Lord of Squirrels as far as I'm aware. So here we go.
Hang on.
Let's make some
Before we
enemies.
move in,
Indeed.
Let me make sure
Erica
that
Henderson
spells are
somewhere is very
before
pissed
you
off at you.
So I'm gonna do a maddening mind splinter on
On a squirrel?
Talk to
Yeah.
animals and try and find out the biggest asshole squirrel and be like, that
Yeah.
guy.
Great.
Its eyes go red, which is unusual, but otherwise it acts the way you expect it to.
Okay. I'll take my.
Yeah,
it's
so
already
it goes like scampering off in the tree wildly, like it's freaking out
Yeah.
about something.
And that squirrel's going to come back later as like a squirrel lich and completely wreck us.
Oh no.
A squitch.
A squitch, yes.
A squivenant.
A squ-
I'm gonna run through Armor of Shadows, One with Shadows, Devil's Sight,
Okay.
Eldritch Sight.
Now one with shadows, on the other hand.
Uh-oh.
So
Oh, I was
as you
doing
do when you cast
I was
one with
doing that
shadows,
when I met him.
when you do one with shadows, you normally draw your shadow around you and become one with it. So you do that, and go ahead and roll your stealth roll for me to see if anybody keeps track of you.
Do I get the 10 bonus to
Yes.
it or no?
Yes.
Okay. 23.
Shit.
Anyone have a passive perception in that ballpark?
No.
I don't think so.
I don't believe so.
Hollis Knight.
Hollis is up there.
My passive perception, I don't think would apply, but I've been paying attention here because I'm concerned. So, if you vanish, I'll notice that you vanished.
Yep.
So my regular perception score is 4, and I rolled a 16, so 20. But
Okay, so when you draw the shadows around yourself, okay, from everybody else's perspective, you vanish in the shadows, a thing that you've done many times before. And then half an hour later or so, you'll reappear.
What?
And we can have a conversation later about what happens during that half hour,
No
but
good.
you weren't here.
Okay.
Cool.
If you wanna improv on that, you were basically. I'm trying to decide whether what I want to say openly on the stream and what I want to leave to you to decide how much you reveal.
I like to imagine that he reappears wearing like a floral shirt and Bermuda shorts, and he's got some zinc on his nose.
Yeah, whatever the hell version of that would be.
Oh, good.
Yeah, so
That sort of thing.
blood and chains.
Am I aware? And I'm aware of all the time that passed.
Yes. Yeah, you don't.
Okay.
There may be a bit of time dilation because you're sort of going into another plane. But
It's fine. It's not like you were there for an entire year.
yeah. You might ask, like when you come out, you might even. We'll just go. So basically, you step into effectively Shadowfell, um, and are like in the place where you draw the shadow demons from.
Cool, cool, cool.
And there's a bunch
they
of them
don't.
here.
Yeah, they don't like me
No, they
very
don't.
much.
The one that you're sort of one with, however, looks like them, so they don't seem to notice you initially. You're just another shadow demon hanging out with the shadow demons. It's all good. It's all fine. But over time, you become more and more aware as you're here. Well, first of all, you're aware that you're not where you're supposed to be, the prime material plane. And you start to get a sense that there's a presence here that is hunting you, that is aware that you're here to some degree, and is...
For example, a shade who, a shade
Yeah,
demon
one
I
that would
summoned.
love for you to stop being able to summon it because you know its real name, something like that.
Yeah.
Good.
And you kind of start getting a little like, I hope that I'm not here long enough that that thing finds me. And then eventually you sort of, you're like maybe stumble over something or whatever, and it just shift, bam, like you've just come out of your normal one with shadows, and you're back at the edge of the clearing with no idea of how much time has passed, although it still appears to be the same clearing and it appears to be the same people here.
I imagine by this point we're like starting
Hopefully
to break
it's not
camp.
a year later.
Yeah.
Like,
To
I
compare
assume
myself
they're
up.
I
point
once,
tracking me.
once tracked a criminal who boasted that he could hide so well that the gods themselves could not see him. He definitely hid from me, but his hiding was nowhere near so effective as yours was. I'm not convinced you actually hid.
I think that I probably should not do anything sneaky or hidey for just a little bit.
I mean,
Seems that
crouching
my-
should be okay, but that business where you wrap your shadow around yourself.
Oh, when I put my hood up, yeah. Yes, I will probably avoid that for a bit, just to be safe. I think the shadows
Are you
are
okay,
less
Tony?
friendly.
You look a little pale.
Yeah.
Even more than usual.
Granddad, do you want to trade cloaks for a while, since mine does not do that?
Sure, that will help, and it's the cloak that does it.
Definitely.
Granddad, is it the
Or is
cloak
it-
that does it?
Yes. Here you are.
Uh,
Oh, I feel so much safer. Thank you.
I'm gonna roll to see if my grandfather's just lying to me.
You don't need to roll.
Granddad, give
That was the knowest yes I've ever heard.
me back my cloak, Granddad. I don't mind. Here's your cloak.
By the way, when you returned back to this world, there was a very disappointed hiss in your mind from your shadow. It was
Oh,
very
thank
much
you.
happier to be there.
I think that's the
Shit.
most shadowy thing I do. I may avoid summoning demons for a bit.
You think?
Why?
Yeah, probably for the best.
Okay, well, I'm gonna say I am not all here today, but I think it is worth pressing on, and I will seek treatment from a qualified professional when we once again find ourselves in the vicinity of a city. Until then, if things are a little odd, it's probably okay. If things are very odd, feel free to do a little check-in with Grandpa. Make sure he's...
Should we return to the city? I'm unsure we should be hunting owlbear milk in this current condition.
I feel I've done my morning stretches, and all seems well, except for when Grandpa does sneaky things. So perhaps this will be a good excuse to get back on the straight and narrow. Fewer pranks for a bit.
Okay, all right. Let's go.
Well, yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
So
if I remember correctly, I had made some progress tracking an
yeah,
owlbear.
You had gone out the previous night. You had done some scouting around and had found some spoor. You found some like owlbear pellets.
Yeah, size of a football.
Yeah.
Not hard to find.
You had a pretty good idea of where in the woods.
Now I'm just imagining they're like wombat droppings, but they're like D4s.
Yeah, that's pretty much
Yeah,
it.
yeah. There's just a pile of D4s in the middle of the woods.
But like this big.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you have a pretty. You've got the advantage on your survival checks to find and track these things. So you're already basically, you're like, all right, come on over here, everybody. This is the way that we need to go. You're also pretty convinced that, with another sort of little check around, you're convinced that it's been relatively recent, that owlbears have been moving through these trails.
Mhm.
So you basically feel like you're, within an hour of finding or encountering the owlbears.
Okay.
You guys can kind of choose your time and place of engagement.
All right. So just
What's
trying
the
to
plan?
Plan still to wear the flesh of one of their young in an effort to remain camouflaged.
I think we were making a little jumper.
Yeah.
I need a few more feathers and I can sew them right on.
Yeah, you found in the searching, you found quite a few owlbear. Like that's the thing. Like they molt. There's owlbear feathers and owlbear fur attached to some of these pellets and stuff. You can actually collect quite a bit of
I will
materials.
happily do that to prevent killing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something occurs to me. I can speak to animals, and Hollis is incredibly persuasive. So maybe I should just be like an owlbear translator. Maybe we could convince the owlbear to give us some milk.
Well, one of the spells I also prepare for today is sleep.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that'd be great.
Yeah.
I feel like we have lots of options that don't involve harming an
Sleep
owlbear.
is a
I would rather not do.
sleep is a tricky spell because the way the universe interprets the invasion of the target's personal space, you can draw a blanket over them. You can perhaps even put a funny paper hat on them. But milking them, yeah, it's not something I've personally tried. But
Well, it's. I would
Feel like it
rather
would
not
make me
kill. I don't want to kill a mother.
No.
So
If she
or
has
a
milk,
baby.
They're so fluffy.
if she
Yeah,
has
I'd
milk,
feel
she has babies, and I don't want to disturb. I don't give a shit about rich people that much that I want to orphan a child.
Agreed.
A worst case scenario, I could probably hold her for a little bit, and you can kind of do what you need to, and then we can let her go.
Mhm.
But hopefully, it won't come to that.
I
Yeah,
have
maybe
this
we
weird
try to
image
do
of
that
of
approach.
Ugna full Nelson, owlbear,
Yep.
and Tromlin just desperately trying to milk this angry owlbear.
That's some serious animal handling.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So you're not 100% sure that speak with animals will work on an owlbear
Uh-huh.
because they're a monstrosity. Basically, from your perspective, you'd be like, is this spell going to have me speak owl or bear? Or is
I
there,
mean,
how does that
maybe
work?
maybe it's like Spanish and Portuguese, like they're different languages, but there's enough crossover that we
Kinda.
can.
Yeah, you'd have to try it, basically. You're not sure it'll work, but you'd have to give it a shot to be able to
I
do
think
so.
it's worth a shot because even if it doesn't work, it will be very funny, and I can probably climb a tree or something.
So Ugna pulls from her backpack, like you know how she made like a big green onesie with eyes on top to be the frog. There's like a tinier version of that, and all in brown with like a little beak on the hood. And she'll hand it to you and be like, I gotta put some more feathers on there, but I think this is a good start.
Oh, it's great. I'm gonna look just like one.
I'd like you to make a roll on your tailoring skills.
Excellent.
Why
I
not?
have those.
Yeah.
That's a tool proficiency for my tailor's tools.
Yep. So I just have to decide which
Ooh, I
stat.
rolled real
I think
good.
this is dex related. So
Okay.
go ahead and roll a. So that'll give you a total of +5 to
Cool.
roll.
Well, I rolled a 17, so
It's a 22.
yeah.
It's pretty good owlbear costume.
Ugna's studied owlbears very closely.
I mean, I wouldn't go so far as to say like you would fool an owlbear necessarily, but you'd certainly,
If you were going to a convention, people would be like, "That's a good owlbear
ex-
cosplay."
exactly. It'd be really good cosplay. Real feathers, real owlbear feathers. That's pretty
Maybe that will let me get close enough to try talking to one without being immediately chased up the tree.
So you want to start tracking down the owlbears now? See if you can find.
Think so, yeah. I think everybody's as rested up as they can be, and
And as uncursed as they can be.
we've got multiple healers in case an owlbear, rips my face off. So yeah,
Mauls
let's go.
everyone. All right, so roll me your again survival with advantage.
Before we get cooking, can I really quickly do a test invisibility on myself to see what happens to my shadow?
If you cast invisibility, yeah.
Yep. Nice.
What happens?
The spell seems to work as normal. You're invisible.
You're not gonna see Perny. You may have noticed him vanish. You're gonna hear him say, "Can anyone see my shadow?"
Look towards the...
Where are you?
I cannot. Are you standing where your footprints suggest that you're standing?
Step to the left. No.
Well, I mean, now that you're speaking, it's not all that difficult to figure out where you are. I do not see your shadow, though, if that's what you're asking.
Did you mean to disappear, or is this one of those?
Oh no, it was
Grandpa
a prank.
things.
Never mind. As we were. Okay, we were doing surviving.
Yes. So 13 plus 10, 23.
That's your better roll.
Oh, that was my first roll. Let's see if I do
Advantage. So you could potentially
It's
improve
also
that.
now on Alina's bucket list to get each of the characters a little jumper.
Yeah.
Everyone has
All
to have a
need
weird
disguise
costume.
themselves as something.
And then we'll have an in-game convention that you all go to, a D&D furry con, and you can all go as different D&D
Good.
furries.
So yes, that is slightly better. 25.
How many if?
Okay, so you all start following Fetid through the woods. You quickly determine, Fetid, that your companions are probably going to make a little too much noise for your liking as you hunt. So you could pull out a pass without trace.
Yeah.
To quiet them up.
Mm-hmm.
You sort of turn and go shh the first few times, and then just go, all right, cast a spell. I'll get everybody to roll a stealth roll just so I have a baseline.
I am not using shadows. Cold turkey.
But you do all get to add plus 10 from the
So
from the pass
31.
without trace. So yeah, roll good.
28.
Ugna is like Kronk, like disappearing behind trees that couldn't possibly fit her.
18?
23.
What was that again?
Sorry, what? I may have forgotten my original bonus. Nope, I have no stealth bonus. So it's stealth plus 10?
Yeah.
Yeah,
roll
14.
plus 10.
Ooh.
Okay. Do you want to pull an inspiration? Because you still got some. You
Sure.
used
Roll
one
one.
last game, I believe.
21.
Hey.
There you go.
Reckon 20 is
Oh,
good.
speaking of which, Alina, do you want to add an inspiration to everyone who can? Because the
Oh,
counter
Trevor rolled
rolled
over. Hey.
Nice.
Thank y'all.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
And I got 23, and I missed, I think, Tromlin's
28.
28. Excellent.
And
So
I'm at 31.
yeah, everyone is 20 and over with this. So you're all very, very stealthily moving through the woods, thanks to your ranger companion here. And you find some fresh trails. You start looking specifically for where they lead to, trying to find signs of nesting. And eventually you find what is, looking for places where you've seen like branches stripped or moss stripped. You're like, okay, something, it's building.
Yeah, there's a baby Zaras over there.
Yeah, owl babies are us.
Mhm.
And so what you're really looking for is what is often called in the business a dentist. And that's a dentist with a T at the end, like someone badly pronouncing dentist or the name Dennis, right? It's a den nest.
And
No.
then
It's how
No.
owlbears have their young in a dentist.
Mhm.
And you do, in fact, find a bit of a rocky outcropping where trees and moss have been torn down and lined to make a den nest. The first one that you find is abandoned. It's clearly been used. You find shells in it or bits of shell. So you're like, okay, yep, this
Before we leave,
nesting area.
I want to see if there's any treasure in here.
Ooh,
I am still
smart.
rogue.
Smart.
Yep.
There is not. This one's been abandoned for a little while.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
There are, however, some humanoid bones in the form of sort of various like vomited pellets and bits in here, with scraps of like leather clothing and stuff on them.
You should rub yourself in owlbear pellets so that you smell more like them.
Honestly, is what I'm thinking about doing.
Well, Fed has been doing that all along anyway.
Yeah.
Just,
I would be doing the same thing, honestly. Just
Quick
all see, like, him,
investigation, looking at the bones, trying to ascertain.
oh, sure. Give me a roll.
I'll do the
18.
Sylvan elves, you believe.
Oh, shit.
likely.
Oof.
That's
Like the owlbear equivalent of the fancy cat food.
Mhm.
I know.
That's the good stuff.
I mean, it
Owlbear
makes sense.
fancy feast.
Can
It
I
makes sense, 'cause
find any
those are the-
scraps of clothing that might tell me, clan, tribe, location, anything like that?
Not really, but you would know that the Wildwoods are known to be one of the major elf populated regions, so it makes sense.
How
for
many
wood elves to be out here.
victims? Male, female, ages? Can I get that?
Yeah, mixture. So this is probably from like multiple people what got et.
That's
Fedid's ready to keep moving, find a more recent nest.
Yeah.
I will rub more pellets on me just in case and keep going.
There's
Buffering.
there's owlbear pellets, owlbear droppings. It's what's going on.
Would my mask without trace cover smells?
Yeah, it should.
I think it does,
All right.
yeah.
I'm not
Well,
actually. I know that, but I'm not going to tell you to stop rolling the pellets
Well,
on. I think it's kind of fun.
In fairness, eventually we're not going to be just walking. We're going to be up close with a fucking owlbear that might be asleep.
Very true.
It's smelling
So-
like something is good.
Yep.
Yes. Something other than satyr.
Yep.
And so with
Tasty,
those,
tasty satyr.
yeah,
Yep.
tasty satyr.
I've
So
already been eaten once today.
with those,
And not in a fun way.
No.
Never the fun way, except that, well, you guys weren't there for that.
You got a
So
black token
given-
out of it.
given those amazing rolls, yeah, over a bit of time with a little bit more scouting around, you find, you come to a hollow in the wood where you're up at a bit of a ridge, and you see below through the trees. Fetid is like just puts his finger up, like no one make a sound, because you detected there is an active nest
Nice.
down below. There is a group of owlbear chicks
Oh.
in a den nest.
Ugna actually claps her hands over her mouth because you can see her wanting to go like.
Yeah, I know.
Ugna.
Ernie is going to write in his little notebook to people. I forgot to mention that, conveniently, that I can create very compelling illusions, but I can only make one person or creature see them. But if there's only one mother in the nest to convince, I might be able to create a phantasmic owlbear chick for her to feed. Perhaps right where we place some kind of bottle or receptacle.
I also have minor illusion as well. Like
Would
I
I
can,
know whether
I've
an
got
owlbear
phantasmal
mother would
force.
feed a chick that it didn't recognize?
I could. Oh, if we steal a
Yeah.
chick,
I
I can
guess.
replace it with a phantasmal force version of it.
Lane,
Phantasmal force isn't visible.
Lane, can I use my
It's
tattoo
also-
of disguise?
You could use your tattoo disguise or your physical disguise skills between your kit and the costume that was just made.
You're gonna make a
And the
really good
contents of
fursuit.
bits of, yeah, you could theoretically, certainly if the combination of both, certainly with the magic added to disguise, you could make a pretty convincing owlbear chick
What am I rolling?
disguise here. So you would be rolling a disguise roll, which is deception.
Awesome, which is not my worst. It's plus 10.
Yep, is a plus 10.
Plus
yeah.
the size of it.
Yep.
So just a flat plus 10, making sure I understand.
Yep. Yep.
Okay. Finally, today's the useful d20s.
Nice.
Excellent. A natural 20. So you put on Ubna's onesie, and like you have to crouch a bit because it was kind of made with fetid in mind, but like you're not a huge guy either. And then you start like adding to it, altering it with your disguise kit, and then use yours. And everyone's looking at this and being like, that's not going to convince a real owlbear. And then you pull the magic of the disguise tattoo. And so the magic tattoo comes out from under your collar and onto your face and then spreads, and the magic makes you look like the face of an actual
Now,
owl
this
creature.
entire operation just got far easier.
Now, I would like a nature roll with advantage from Fetid.
All right.
Everyone else can make a nature roll as well if you wish.
6.
No. That's all I'm saying. No.
Nature roll with advantage, correct?
No, without
16.
only Fetid gets advantage.
16 is my high roll.
I'd like to use one of my
Inspiration?
inspirations.
Inspiration.
I got a nat 20 if you want to save that. 24,
Yeah,
and it's a nat 20.
Very good.
What was
Oh.
Fetid's max roll?
16.
Did you want to put an inspiration? Because you're full now.
Yeah, I might as well burn one if I'm full up.
Because you'll get more information than others would, even with that nat 20.
I rolled a 1
Yeah,
and a
that's much
2.
better. That is a 21.
Ooh.
Okay, so to start with, so the nat 20. So everybody else is sort of like watching this going like, maybe this will work? I mean, it looks like it, and you were rubbing owl pellet on, so maybe you'll smell kind of like it. Maybe it'll work. Copernicus, with your nat 20, you're just kind of like, so you're going to like suckle or something and get milk out of the owlbear, and then you're like looking directly at his beak. And then you're like, how does that work?
Very good question.
And then Fetid, you all realize that from your little speech that you got from Mickey Cotter, the sorcerer's apprentice, back in Mud Hollow, there was nothing. He had this whole treatise about owlbears, but he told you about when they breed and when they're nursing and so forth. He didn't tell you anything about the mechanics of how this works. And so Fetid, with your nature roll, you realize that there is probably, so obviously if the body is the body of a bear, then there's going to be a mammary gland situation.
Mm-hmm.
But if the head is the head of an owl, there's no lips.
It's too pinchy.
Yep.
It's very pinchy.
And you think maybe what you might want to do is observe the process before you attempt to mimic the process?
That does seem wise, yeah.
That's good because I rolled a 1 and a 2. I would have been like, ah!
So Fetid, you can like climb up a tree or something and get like a nice good vantage point and
Yeah, definitely.
watch for a while. Like
Mhm.
the true sort of like, the ranger thing. You practically
Yeah.
build a blind really fast and like hide in it and like are like
Mhm.
and indeed you get to observe so this dentist has I'm just very amused that it sounds like dentist. This dentist has no adults in it. It's just owlbear chicks. As you're watching, but as you suspect, the parents aren't going to be far away. And a short while later, the mother appears ambling out of the woods, on all fours.
As you.
You can see that she's caught something in her beak, like a rabbit or something, and she immediately swallows it whole.
Mhm.
So it can go down to the stomach and get worked, and eventually she'll cough up an owlbear pellet.
Yep.
But then she goes into the nest, and all of the chicks are making this awful noise. So basically, imagine bear cubs, except they've got featherless bird heads
Yep.
Good. Yep.
and like just the
Really,
giant
really
beak
cute.
wide open straight up,
And that
making like
horrible
a
noise that baby
hissing
birds
horrible.
Have you seen the video of the barn owl babies?
Oh
They
yeah.
look like aliens. Yeah, like that noise.
And the horrible hissing shriek they make at their mom.
Yep.
Good.
So hard.
Or
Have you
anything else.
heard
There's
the
a great
sound
video.
baby cockatiels make.
Yeah,
Oh,
there's a great
God.
video of a bird breeder, and there's like a cage camera showing the baby cockatiels all just sitting there, and then they open the cage to like put something in,
It's
and
like
they just
demons.
all like mouths open, and then just this demon noise,
Yep.
demon chorus
It's very
of their
good.
voices.
Mhm.
So that comes out of this dentist,
Mhm.
and the mother plops herself down like on top of the babies all in the middle here and starts preening is what it looks like at first, but it's like the beak is going, it's like it's going at its own
Yeah.
breasts,
I see what's going on here.
like the breasts are preening glands, and it's trying to get the
Yep.
oil on its beak. And it just does that for a while and ignores the screaming young around it. And then eventually it reaches out with its beak and grabs the beak of one of the young, and then just starts violently shaking its head
I'm
as
starting
it
to
is
rethink-
vomiting milk into its offspring.
Starting to rethink the costume idea.
But you're like, that would work,
That
right?
would work.
Yeah.
Like it's vomiting the milk out.
High
That's-
velocity. It is. Oh god, it is pigeon milk.
Yep. It's pigeon milk.
I
That's
have,
Except it got
I have
it from its own glands.
Yep.
I have a suggestion.
This is what you get when you have a biologist as your DM.
Also,
Mhm.
somebody who has two birds who regularly feed each other.
Yeah.
Tromlin, go ahead and take my drinking horn. This will preserve what's emitted from that monster. And
I will basically take
I
the
pat you on the
horn
shoulder and I'm
under-
like, I'm sorry, buddy.
I take the
You don't
horn
have to
under
do
my
this.
costume. I take the horn under my costume and I'm like figuring out how I can basically put it up when I need to, so I'm not like
Getting that right in the face.
Yeah.
I don't want to get albuquerque, okay? Oh, sorry, milk cocky. I don't want that.
Oh, Lar has just asked in the stream how do platypuses feed their young then, because they
Oh.
have bills. I did seriously consider making it like a platypus.
They just secrete it from the skin. Like it's just like
They have a
sweat.
patch on their stomach, and
It's
it's
sweat.
actually more like blood and less like milk. They
Just-
basically just
So Purdy
sweat
can get
blood
involved.
onto their belly, and then the
Platypire.
puddles lick it up.
Platypi are real fucked up animals.
I love them.
Yep. Yeah,
Evolution
echidnas do the same thing.
doing weird shit back then.
Oh no, there's a new Lar drawing.
Oh
Yeah.
god.
Oh, it's
really
very
good.
good.
Great. I'm scared to look.
It can't be. It can't. It's too quick. It can't be related to this, and I really hope it isn't, because I'm terrified now.
There's no blood milk.
It's good. It's good. Not yet.
Good.
No vomiting owlbears.
I'm
Are you sharing the?
I'm queuing it up to get shared.
You go ahead. I'll wait. So, having observed this and seeing the process, what is the plan?
Oh,
You
I
have
shall
now got
stand
a
God.
perfect. You got like a perfect owlbear outfit, owlbear cub outfit.
I've got the drinking horn in the outfit with me. I was gonna wobble up, try to like act like one of the babies, and when it's my turn, with the horn, like clamp down and shake it into the horn as best as I can.
Get it to put its beak on the horn instead of your entire head.
The other thing that we could try, if one were to say, banish an owlbear baby to another plane right at the moment of ejection.
No,
I'd be
Just,
No.
just temporarily, I'll return it within seconds, and then we just go on our merry way with a face and drinking horn full of blood milk.
I'm not comfortable
There's no
with
blood.
that.
No blood in this case. That was.
It is,
That was
I-
you can call it that, I guess.
It is a very neutral plane. Yeah, there's nothing not to like about it. Very normal.
Okay, I guess. Yeah.
Would you like to test the process?
Nope. My luck, something's bad's gonna happen.
I mean,
Nope.
you could send me in if you need to.
No, we'll just.
You're a lot bigger than the owlbear chicks.
It's true.
Yeah, the owlbear chicks are large.
No, I meant you can send me into the astral plane, the netherworlds.
If we want to test the process to make sure, because I can banish. In general, I think we've been flavoring it, but I think I can send people to a very neutral, empty plane where they just kind of like are in a waiting room.
You banished. They're just banished out of this reality into like a pocket realm. It's not.
Yeah.
We were flavoring it that it's like awful and horrible, but that's not.
You can try it on me, Perny, and if I wouldn't send an owlbear there, I'll let you know.
Okay, let's give that.
All right,
We'll
let's
retreat
give
a
it a
little ways
shot.
so that we're not making too much noise near the nest, and then I'll do a banish on Ugna
Yep.
to the most neutral waiting room, boring pocket plane I can conjure.
Well, let me just see if the demon in your shadow has
Good.
anything to say about that.
Excellent.
Oh
Good.
no.
I was
This is
hoping-
why we're testing the process.
Yep.
No, works just fine.
Oh, good. Yep.
Okay.
I pop
So we
back
could-
out,
if-
and I'm like, that wasn't bad at all. Actually, that was fine. It was
If
weird,
we
but
stealthy
it
of
was
us-
fine.
From
If
your
the stealthiest-
perspective, Ugna, you just basically, it's like stepping out of sync with reality. You're just kind of like, you can still see the world that you were in, but it's like you're frozen in like ghost realm, and
Right.
then you're
I
back.
come back. Yeah, that's fine then.
All
That's
right.
right.
very neutral.
So we'll just have a confused but not
Yeah.
traumatized baby owlbear.
If
I
the
think it's-
stealthy of us wants to be ready to jump in with the horn and catch the spray when it passes
Yeah.
through the vanished chick.
Let me do that because I have
A
out of
disguise.
character. I have
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
So let me, just so I can understand the plan is. So the plan then is to have Tromlin go down in the costume. You banish one of the chicks. He kind of like
Oh,
steps
no,
in
so
and
right-
collects the milk.
Yeah, like I'm gonna banish the chick right when the vomit is about to happen. So the vomit passes through where the chick was and into the waiting receptacle. Because the mom basically like locks the baby in place and then blahs, right? So right before the blah, the baby gets banished and all the blah comes right out, and we just catch that in a cup and run.
I
That's
think
my
this
plan.
could possibly go wrong.
I misty step away as fast as I can.
Yeah, there we go.
And we
Out of precautions.
GTFO.
Yep.
That's my plan. I'm
Works for
open
me.
to. I don't think it is the best plan, but I think it's the perniest plan.
It's the
and-
best plan we've got.
Yep.
Yep.
Well, the previous plan was that you were going to try and like be a convincing owlbear cub.
And be fed.
I mean, I guess the idea is still to be a convincing owlbear cub, just to be there, but
Yeah.
not have to be fed. And
Yeah.
now the plan. So that was the plan before, was to try and get fed, but then sleight of hand it somehow to get the milk into a.
My plan was to knock it unconscious and just milk it that way. So this is way better.
That's another plan.
But we can't. It'd be hard to make it vomit if it was unconscious.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, well, see, I didn't realize it vomited
Yeah.
blood, like milk up at that point. That was like a cow.
Yeah.
I mean, it does seem like Fetid can tell you. It does seem to have like the
Vomit
row of like
memories.
six
Yeah.
six mammaries down its front. It just seems to like preen at its own nipples to collect milk secretions in its crop, which it then like mixes with whatever else is in there and vomits that into its young.
Yeah.
Delightful.
So it's possible. It probably wouldn't express the same way as a
Majestic.
cow. I mean, it certainly wouldn't, because we've definitely bred cows
More like
for
a
the
donkey.
ease of that process.
You don't get a lot of milk out of a donkey.
It would be more like donkey milk. I mean, it would be mostly like bear milk.
Yeah.
So what do you think? Which of these plans do you want to go with?
I
think-
just saw in the chat the thanks for the memories pun.
Very good.
Excellent.
You could
All
try
right.
and make the disguise thing easier by making a fake beak.
With the horn in it?
Yeah, so that when it comes to grab the beak, then you actually have something to sleight of hand into its mouth
Yeah.
instead of your face. That's an
Well, I've seen
option.
with performing, I've made puppets before, so I can probably figure something out.
You need some sort of someone would have to like craft a pretty robust piece of equipment to
I
do
mean, I
that.
can-
Do
I
we
can
have the
help.
time? We have the time
I've got-
realistically to do that.
Armorer's
can-
tools
Sure.
and Taylor's tools.
Unless you're in a rush.
Yeah.
I can make anything out of blood. Tell me what you want.
This is blood beak.
You could make a blood beak. That's an option.
Oh boy.
You would need a
If I ever
significant
have
amount of blood.
If I ever have an Aarakocra character, I'm naming them Bloodbeak.
Good.
Mhm.
Good.
Very good.
It's a good one.
Shall I try to make like a leather feeding puppet? I'm imagining those things that they use to feed like baby vultures
Condors?
with. They're like
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
They don't imprint.
Yep.
Oh man.
At some point during our discussion, this truly delightful, traceless passing spell is going to pass tracelessly, and all of those owlbears are going to look in our direction and wonder what the hell's happening.
So we
Yeah, you have
may
a
want
certain
to
number of hours.
Just go.
It's a significant duration, but yeah.
Yeah, at a certain point, I think we just got to roll the dice,
Yep.
both literally and figuratively.
Well, do you
My-
want to
Horn
did-
will preserve whatever comes out of that owl. How much of it do you need to catch?
About
Wait.
this much? Because he like gestured to us how much we needed. It was like a
No,
little
he
bit.
gave you a sizable wineskin
Oh, that's right.
to fill.
I will pull that out.
Oh, we'll get as much as we can. Well, extra
Yeah.
water.
You may need more than one owl.
We're
Bear.
gonna need another owl. So I rolled an 11 plus 5, so 16 for my tools proficiency. And I think between Armorer's tools and Taylor's tools, I could make up a beak.
Yeah, I mean, you can certainly make something that will like go on the end of the drinking horn slash like the
I can also
magical
throw an inspiration
container.
on that if needed. I rolled middling.
Yeah, you could.
Let me give that a try. Nope, worse. That's 6.
Did you want Perny to try to make something out of blood? You just need a source of the blood, and then you can shape whatever you want.
I mean, I've got some blood.
We could
I'm
also
big.
play. How about we hunt an animal and just kill that and take the blood?
That's
Then we have to
certainly
hunt an
doable.
animal.
I'm right
Uh,
here.
I'd rather not hurt you if we have a battle coming up.
Fetid has a magic jug
I do. It's
that
true.
can generate liquids.
Oh, blood.
Fetid's magic jugs.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Wait,
Yeah,
then
it's-
why aren't we using that to make the owlbear milk?
Yeah.
Because
those
it's
come
got
out
a,
of jugs too.
it has a specific list, and I was just checking
Yeah.
to see if
Oh,
you
it's an
could do
alchemist
blood, but
thing.
it's not.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wine.
it's not an option.
Mayonnaise,
I was-
weirdly.
Mayonnaise, yeah, but
Oh,
mayonnaise and owlbear milk, while similar, are
Perny's just gonna cut himself while we're arguing and just.
Tromlin
Well-
would have been so mad to have come this far and realized that it had a jug that could just make.
Oh no, yeah, that would.
Oh man, I wish
The
I
real
could.
owlbear milk is the friend you made along the way.
I would say, Perny, then that if you're going to, because Ugna has already crafted something, you can basically make it work as like a rigid, very strong beak by just adding a certain amount of blood, and you don't need to like drain a person to make what you're trying to build.
All right. What am I down for this? What do I owe you? Blood.
You could just take. I mean, if it's take 10 and we'll make it substantial, and then it's really
Okay.
large and
All right.
strong. And
Taking 10. All right, I'm at 15 right now, and I will. Yep, and I'll finish the job. We can, if you want to do some disguise kit stuff to get the coloring right.
Yep, there's now a very kind of perfectly crafted owl's beak armor on this little puppet thing that Ugna has made, a little puppet beak, which can be fitted onto the mouth of the dwarven preservation cask. So you've got a device, Tromlin, that you can stick into the beak of an owlbear. Nothing left but to try it, I guess.
Do this shit.
Trust our luck.
Yep.
So am I banishing an owlbear, or are we trying to go in with this thing, hoping it'll feed this thing?
I think we should do the banishment thing. I
think
that
the idea was to bait and switch. It'll
Yeah.
be easier for Tromlin to disguise himself as owlbear chick
Yeah.
than to be one that gets chosen to be fed necessarily.
Yeah. Okay.
Because then he can just get into the nest and then bait and switch when you do your banishment spell.
All right.
All right.
I think that's an
do it.
easier ask. Now, my only other question is, since Jeff was talking about having Fetid try to talk to the animals, are you going to try that first, or are you going to leave that as a backup plan?
leave that as backup. Maybe emergency. Please don't kill us. Diplomacy.
Yeah, I'd rather not put this thing in a rage.
I feel like this has higher odds of working than trying to
Yeah.
convince via diplomacy.
Yeah, let's go with the old disguise yourself as an owlbear while somebody banishes the other one, so you can use your crazy puppet machine to collect its milk.
Correct. Yeah.
All right.
That's
Easy.
the simplest plan.
I assume this is stealth or deception.
Well, assuming you're going to try and get close first, so let's do a stealth first. You'll still have that bonus for now from
The plus 10.
Fetid.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That means I have a plus 19 total.
Ooh.
you're very good at
That's a
stealth.
31.
Ooh.
Well, that's good because I rolled pretty high, but my 18 plus bonuses will not get that high. That would require what, 14, 13 perception, which owlbears do not have. So you manage to sneak up pretty close. Heck, people like lose sight of you. Or where do you go? Then you pop up behind the dentist.
Cheap.
Do you wish to attempt to make the right noises?
I assume it's a performance check.
It is, or you could use
I'm not taking another goddamn black dot.
no cantrips. You have,
Oh, yeah.
minor illusion. You could,
Oh, yeah, I
I
have
a
it.
cantrip. So
I
you
have
can
it.
you can basically ventriloquism doesn't exist as a spell anymore in recent editions of D&D because it's covered by cantrips, and you have those
All right.
cantrips.
I have that as one of my cantrips, so minor illusion.
You can
some,
just
some
Make
curse.
the noise that the other ones are making come out of you.
Yes. All right,
with
that's
your
what I do.
illusion. Okay. You make the appropriate horrible owlbear noise. I will have you roll me a deception just to set the tone here, and I'll see what the owlbear chicks around you are doing.
So I don't have any other bonuses. That's just my straight deception score, right?
Yeah.
All right. That would be a 27.
But you're pretty good at that. 17 plus 10,
Yeah.
27. None of these owlbear chicks are particularly paying much attention to you. They're all like heads straight back, mouths wide open, making the horror noise. You're deafened and can barely hear anything over it, but you're like, use the illusion, make the same horrible noise. I can do it.
He's deafened and can owl barely hear anything.
Good.
Ah!
Uh,
I have
Howard
to say
wins.
I have to say this get out of my head just to get out. Heads down, mouth up. That's the way we like to sup. There you go.
There you go.
Good.
Excellent. We did it, everyone.
Good.
The worst.
Okay.
The worst.
So-
made something grosser than what that originally is.
Good.
So, Perny, you're watching and waiting
Yep.
for when the time comes.
Yep.
And you just got to pick an owlbear chick.
Well-
The mom sits there preening her tits for a while, gets a crop full of milk, and then goes for a chick.
Yep. I wait for the moment, like right before I think the stream is gonna start, and then I'll thump. Because my worry is that like
right
there'll be some kind
as
of
the owl, as the beak is coming in,
Mhm.
you're gonna cast your banishment. So I'll make the saving throw for the owlbear chick to see if this works.
It's a baby. How good can its saving throw be against a demonic master that's needlessly targeting it?
Wow, when you put it like that.
Did baby roll a
Yeah.
natural 20?
You know the
Everything's great.
expression. It's like banishing a baby to the nether realms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What we say? Yeah.
That's what they say. I rolled a 16, and I have no idea what that means, so I'm looking things up.
My spell save
What
DC is
owlbear
15.
stat?
So I will.
It's a charisma saving throw.
Oh, babies have a high charisma.
Yeah.
Can
I mean,
I
owlbears
can I
don't.
use
but
my
I still rolled a
can I
16.
use my inspiration counter actively against it to make it retake that?
What I will do, because you didn't declare it, but you could have, I'll let you do your unnatural voice in the mind and see
I
if you
don't
give
I
it
don't want to do that
disadvantage.
to a baby. I don't want to do that to a
You
baby.
sure?
I thought about that.
Okay.
I thought about
Aw.
that and decided not to. That would be goosing, and I'm not going to do it. But I'll consider the hero point, and I'll definitely spend an inspiration if either of those are options.
Well, a hero point. If someone spends a hero point here, I'm just going to say this whole thing works without further rolls. But if you spend inspiration, I will give it a reroll here.
I'll start with the inspiration.
Okay.
I want to hang on to that hero point just in case.
I rolled a 17.
All right, here, take the hero point.
Okay.
We're doing this. My goddamn grandson and his non-violence and his.
All right. So you spend the
In
hero
front of a
point in
paladin.
order to
Yeah.
achieve. So the banishment happens. Tromlin pulls a sleight of hand. I'll get you to make a roll just so I kind of know where, like, how slickly you do this. But the hero point was spent, so we'll keep that in mind.
Things are gonna get slick all over.
Oh yeah,
Shut up!
slick with
Shut up.
owlbear milk.
Dirty 20. Dirty 20.
Yep.
Very
Yeah,
dirty.
you totally. That's far deceptive for a simple owlbear mom. So you quickly flip in the painted beak made of magic blood contraption that is attached to a dwarven magical cask.
Also,
and-
birds' brains completely shut off when they're doing anything instinct related. So
Yeah.
for the mom is just sort of like, Durr.
Oh no! Like so what happens now is that you are lifted entirely off the ground, being completely unprepared for the strength that this owlbear is actually going to violently shake the head of its offspring with, and so you are now clinging to this cask puppet thing as you flail through the air as this owlbear is. I don't know if you've ever seen videos of parrots doing like weird super head bob, like they
Yes,
shake
I
their
have.
heads.
Wiggly.
That's actually them trying to feed, like imagining they're feeding something. The owlbear is doing that, and you're just hanging on for dear life. There's something
like a-
going into the cask. The cask is filling. After a few moments, she like disengages. You like fall into the pile of owlbear chicks, clutching your cask, hide it in your costume, and then as like the owlbear chicks around you kind of get a little like they're not so much like suspicious, but they're just trying to step on you to like be like, no, me next, me. You're like, I'm getting the fuck out of here, and you misty step 30 feet off to the side into the bushes.
Shit.
And then you look inside, and you have about a third of the owlbear milk that you need.
God damn it!
But you have a working
And the hero
plan.
point.
I guess we'll
You
just
have a
keep
working
doing
system.
it with more owlbears, I guess.
Yeah, and a hero point was spent. So you then spend the rest of the day as Fetid goes and tracks down more brooding nests of owlbears. And you repeat the process. Tromlin takes like a bit of bludgeoning damage along the way, but Hollis is there to lay on hands as you get beaten and battered by various owlbears.
I call this maneuver the lactate switch.
Good.
My God.
I would like to point out of character, like I hope Una realizes no one has ever loved her as much.
Oh no, I
as
was just
Tromlin.
thinking that. I was just thinking that.
Like, this might be beyond friendship love
Yeah.
at this point. Like,
Yeah.
he is going into multiple owlbear dens for you. Like that
Twice
is beyond. Some people get
Twice
a
the
ring.
beak breaks from like the exertion, and
it back together.
Ugna and Perny have to like rebuild it for the next
Like
go.
after the second one, Ugna actually like has a quiet moment with you where she puts her hands on her shoulders and she's like, you don't have to do the third one. We could do it some other way. Like this is
No.
a lot.
Nope.
I wouldn't ask anyone to do this for me more than once.
I'm doing it because you're the most important person in my life. We're doing it.
And she just starts
And it
crying and like
works.
hugs you.
Oh.
We're all
And by the end
crying
of the
with this
day-
bloody milk receptacle.
By the end of the night, as evening begins to draw around, you've done all that you needed to do. Took 4 nests in total to fill the thing entirely, but you now have it in a preservation cask that you can keep this owlbear milk fresh for however long it needs. Now, I am going to do something nice for the chat. Because our second poll was so hotly contested between 2 people, I'm going to go ahead and take
No.
second place,
Oh, good.
which was Fetid's black token. So if you don't mind, I'd like you to remove Fetid's black token.
Oh no.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
So the last of these den nests, as you has only a couple of chicks in it. The most in any of these nests was like maybe 5. This last one only has 2.
Mm-hmm.
And while you're all sort of like hiding in the bushes watching, Fetid's got like an arrow in case like something goes wrong each time. Copernicus has snuck close enough to be in range for his banishment spell. Ugna's close enough that she can jump in and save Tromlin if something goes wrong. Hollis is there ready to heal. So Fetid is kind of a ways back from the rest of the party. And at this point, while you're watching and you see the same, it never gets less funny as Tromlin is like flapping around in the air from this owlbear and holding on, just going, Jesus. But except the sound that comes out is the same owlbear chick shriek from his spell.
Which is probably how they all sound anyway. Like, maybe this is why owlbears are so goddamn mad.
Mm-hmm.
They all have
the
childhood
mothers...
trauma from being milk throttled.
All birds.
Yeah.
Oh no, you killed Randy.
Went up my nose.
So Jeff, you hear, Fetid hears from over his shoulder a similar owlbear shriek noise.
Mm-hmm.
And you turn around and there is an owlbear chick, a small kind of runty one, with a bit of a bad leg
Oh.
that is kind of crawled
Oh.
over to you, and it is like got its head wide back, its mouth, its beak open, flailing at you as it makes that horrible begging noise. And with your nature knowledge, you realize that this chick was probably thrown out of the nest as a defective chick, and it is imprinting on you.
Oh, good. Okay.
Maybe owlets are good eating.
Oh no.
Yeah.
No, never.
I'm joking. I'm joking.
I'm thinking about it. No.
Oops.
No.
Good bin. He fell off. Come here, buddy. It's okay.
We upset the birds.
Come here, bud.
Talk
Oh,
of
you
eating
like
birds
it?
is
no.
upset them.
Would you like it banished?
Out of curiosity, I would like to try to speak with this little guy and see if there's any intelligibility we can pass between the two of us.
Okay, you cast the spell, and you you sort of try what you were going to try before. You're like, well, maybe I'll try to speak owl first, and then that's the head. So maybe, and then I'll try to speak bear, see how it works. And you get a bit of communicable, like, intelligibility. However, it's what you would expect to get from an
a bird.
late infant, early toddler. Like it's effectively baby sounds. Maybe a bit of mama.
Okay. Let's see. You said it has a bad leg.
Yeah, it's got like a bit of a deformed leg, like it was born with a bit of a problem, or hatched, I should say.
Is that something? I guess it's not really a wound, so I probably couldn't heal wounds that back into shape.
Oh, wait. Hold on. I might be able to help that. Shit.
Are you in the nest or are you?
Yeah, right now you're kind of busy.
Yeah.
No, that's
at
true,
the
but I'm
moment.
saying out of
for,
character.
for later. Yeah.
Out of character. I think I have a spell.
Do you? Okay, cool. I don't want to step on your toes.
Yeah, most
but
clerics have the safely put baby bird back in nest spell.
Well, I mean, I don't know. Would lesser restoration help?
Probably not, because if this is how it was born, then what are you
Deformity,
restoring?
injury.
Wait, so does the
If it was
baby?
an injury that it suffered, then sure.
Well, does it consider? Is it considered a condition? How about that? If it's considered a condition, I can remove it.
I would say no, because even if D&D, I'm not sure if fifth ed still does things like a lame condition,
I'm not sure.
which, as you may know, is
Also,
somewhat ableist.
I am
Yeah,
willing
no.
to
So
take Fedid's black token to have this thing imprint on Ugna instead.
I would allow that.
Well, hang on. Before you commit to black token,
Ugna wants an owlbear baby.
yeah, I'm running. I'm like, as this thing looks at me, I'm very quickly like running through the possible outcomes of this. And the most prominent one is pet owlbear for party, which seems pretty cool.
That's pretty
And
cool.
I like that.
You can find something to feed it that's not the precious owl bear milk.
Yeah, I'm gonna take out my magical jug and fill it up with some mayonnaise and see what owlbear chicks think about mayonnaise.
It's kind of just eggs.
Yeah, if you take, actually, I imagine that if you take that mayonnaise and try to dump it into the open beak.
I think it'll probably be pretty happy about that.
Well, okay, so here's what happens. First of all, we won't roll initiative.
Right.
Because it doesn't kind of really matter. But the order of events is you put the nozzle in and the mayonnaise is falling in and like the eyes go bright and you're like, oh, this is going to work. And at the same moment you think that, the beak clamps down hard on the opening of the jug and it starts to pump like it would if Mama was there. And you are now riding the equivalent of a mechanical bull, but it's actually a mayonnaise producing magical jug being held in the beak of an owlbear chick that is violently trying to feed from it. As one does.
Yeah.
Dungeons and Dragons,
Can I
everybody.
come and help?
Yeah, you hear what's going on.
Yes.
Check or acrobatics, perhaps.
Yeah, make me an acrobatics check and we'll see how capable are you of riding this new ride you invented. You kind of think, certain bars, if you put certain pubs or taverns, if they had one of these, people would put money in it in order to ride it.
That's a 19. I feel like I'm doing.
Yeah, you're doing pretty good.
All right,
You're
cool.
hanging on. You
I'm
have this
imagining you just go-
overwhelming
There's a
urge to shout yeehaw.
You go limp
Yeah.
and just kind of do that like that loose flag thing that lizards do.
Mm-hmm. I've got one hat in my hand.
You just like shed one arm and like run away.
Yeah. I'll grow back. Maybe I'll get two.
Nubs.
No, I'm kidding.
So I
Yeah, like-
eventually return, I assume. I see this going on.
So you by this time you've gotten to that point in where you're finished and you've Misty stepped the heck out of there, back to where Hollis is hiding so he can heal your bruises, and so you three, instead of Ugna's not there, which is different from all the previous plans because Ugna has run off for some reason. Hollis, Perny, they're both there in the bushes with you, Tromlin, now that you've done your last one and you've got your full cask of owlbear vomit / milk.
Yeah.
Good.
Where's Ugna? Everyone? I like the party. Like, where is she?
You will find out shortly. She's fine. Everything's fine.
I
Oh,
see.
yay.
Awesome.
Incredible.
That is so good.
It's
Oh,
Are you
Lord.
alright?
Oh no, what did he do?
very good.
I gotta log into Twitter.
You keep falling off, buddy. It's okay. You keep
I love that
falling.
the bear here is
What do
like
you fall off?
halfway through.
Yeah.
The bear part is very Winnie the Pooh-esque.
Yes.
Mhm. Mhm.
I didn't. Where is this posted at? I don't see it.
It's on the
It's up
stream.
on
Oh,
the
it's
stream.
in Twitch. It's
Oh,
on
okay.
Twitch.
I'm not logged in, so I'll look at it later.
It's also in the Discord in the general chat.
Oh, thank you. I'll go look right now. If I can manage to get to that without closing it by accident.
Someone in the
Oh
chat
my God.
Someone in the chat says that owlbears should be ovoviviparous.
Yes, I saw.
Yeah.
Combine the two so they lay eggs
Yeah.
and the eggs hatch inside.
Okay, since I am a nature guy, as I'm riding this owlbear and gaming out the possibilities of having this as a pet, how colossally irresponsible would that be? Are we talking
I mean,
having a pet grizzly that might kill a bunch of people, or are we talking like, oh, if you raise it, it's essentially a big cat?
Have you seen Tiger King?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's never I mean, but I will point out that it's definitely would be like not even in the top 20 most irresponsible things you've done like in the
Recently.
this
today.
campaign.
Yeah.
I do want to know
Also-
though how seriously Ugna wants to be the target of imprint, because
I
if you want
am
that black
willing
token,
to spend a black token on it.
then I will take that. You can put your black token up, and you hearing the ruckus,
Yep.
come to see Fetid basically mechanical bull riding his mayonnaise magic jug as it's being violently flailed about by the owlbear that is choking down the mayonnaise.
Good. And I will come and try and like steady Fetid so that he's not flapping around and liable to hurt himself, but then also grab the jar and kind of
You
help
grab
feed
the
it.
jug.
Help
Yeah,
feed
you
it.
basically
I'll do like a very graceful kind of somersault dismount.
Yep.
you just like scamper up to Ugna's shoulder.
Yeah.
You basically manage to complete the feeding task, and now are holding the jug, but are 100% like you're the right size. You're the thing that just put the milk
food in its
substitute
mouth.
in.
Handling a lot of owl material, you
Yeah.
probably have a bit of a smell on you.
Yep.
Yeah.
I've been rubbing
Yep.
myself in owl pellets.
Mhm.
It will 100% follow you around. At this point now it's full.
Yep.
So instead of doing its begging noise, it'll just do that little sort of begging noise, generally affectionate sound at you.
Yep.
Also, where are you keeping your frogs? And
They're still so the frogs have been. I meant to say this before when you guys said you're getting up in the morning. The frogs are just still around. Like just generally,
Here.
the area of the forest you're in has a lot of frogs in it, and that has continued to be the case throughout the day.
Good. They're just
So there are still
nearby.
frogs around.
The little
Like, if
buddies
you-
that I fed, I was like, you go hop back off to your homes. Go on.
They're
But they're
following
just
you.
around.
They're still following you around, but generally, like not like Pied Piper right behind you in a cluster, but just
Yeah.
sort of like, oh, Ugna is leaving this part of the forest.
So
the frogs will
if
just
this thing is
generally
fed-
hop in that direction.
And is looking up at me with big owlbear baby eyes.
Yep.
And squeaking at me. I'm gonna like very, very slowly crouch down and with like a trembling hand go and try to like pet it on the head. And I assume I do not lose a hand in that process.
Nope. Your mom.
Yeah.
So
Good.
clearly, this is fine.
Good.
Just preening.
Do I see this baby? Or are they somewhere else?
They're like a little ways away from you, but like that's where you're going. Like now that you've completed the task and you've got your last jug or cask, you and Hollis and Copernicus will go back up to meet with everybody else. So you will, in fact,
right.
come stumbling out of the bushes with the rest of you to see Ugna petting an owlbear chick with Fetid perched on her shoulder.
I look at Ugna. Honey.
He's so cute. Look at it. And his little leg is hurt. And I like kind of like pull at his leg a little bit so I can take a look at it. He's not going to survive out here by himself.
I examine the leg. Like, does it look like something that could be healed if I broke it and reset it?
Not completely. It's just small. Like it's not. It didn't develop properly. The one.
Oh,
leg
so this is just a he will never be able to live on his own situation.
correct.
Yeah.
definitely would not survive in the wild.
Okay, well, let's go find a place up camp. I have an idea. So he's not eating. Please tell me that's mayonnaise all over his face.
Yeah,
It
that's
is
mayonnaise. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not sure it's mayonnaise because it was magically created. If it's miraculous, it's Miracle Whip.
We should just end the stream on that. That was
Yeah, that's it.
Tromlin fans.
Thanks, everybody. That's our show.
Goodbye, everybody.
Try the steak.
oh my god.
When we tried to make camp that night, can I, using my cook abilities, like examine the actual owl milk we have and try to figure out a way to make a substitute?
Oh, owlbear formula.
Like how to try and make
Like a
this
formula.
stuff.
It'd
Honestly,
be like mayonnaise and ground meat.
I actually think like get milk and meat and blood.
yeah, if you put your head together with fetid, so fetid, make me a nature roll. Maybe roll me. I'll get Tromlin to roll me an animal handling roll.
Okay, that's +4 for me.
All right, 14 for nature.
18 for animal handling.
Your nature roll gets advantage because we're dealing with owlbears. So you can roll that again, Jeff.
Yeah. Is that better? No, that is worse. 14 is my high roll.
Okay, 14 is not terrible though. So the base, so Tromlin, off of your animal handling, you know that it is very common to raise baby mammals of the milk from the milk of any other mammal. Like, so it's super common. If there's like a goat kid that's mother dies, you can take cow's milk and like soak it in a rag and let the kid suck on it, and it's fine. It still works, right? In the same way that humans can drink cow's milk and goat's milk, or generally can. Not all humans, obviously, but not into adulthood anyway. But the young,
Theoretically
So you're-
doable.
yeah. But then also from Fetid's nature knowledge, the way that whole thing worked, where it was like ingesting its own milk secretions and then vomiting it up, there's probably addition of just some of whatever it's been digesting. So there's probably like, this probably isn't even pure milk. It's probably a combination of like milk and just like semi-digested meat. So it would be ridiculously easy to just make a nutrient-rich slurry of
Good.
milk and
You're making Fetid hungry.
ground
Good.
meat.
I
Fetid
I love
slavering
that
as he describes this.
every
Yeah.
time that Tromlin cooks for our party, it's like, okay, I've got to do like ancient eyeballs style for grandma. Ernie needs the liver. Fucking, I guess we're gonna ground that up for the owlbear with some jug mayo. Fetid'll eat garbage.
I'll eat
Ugna
liver.
eats a lot. Like, you're
I'll eat
cooking
whatever's left
the
over.
dietary restrictions that you're cooking for.
It's a lot.
You just it's the usual thing. You got to have your list of like your friends coming over for dinner. You got to have that list of dietary restrictions.
Oh, Tromlin.
So-
Remember when you used to just be a baker?
Vaguely.
You used to be a baker, you used to do cool things, you used to have sex. Now it's just...
It's owl
Only
milk,
had sex once this whole campaign.
but it was with a goddess.
It was with a goddess.
Maybe our next
Quality, not
request
quantity.
would be to get
I am
Tromlin.
really waiting for that black token to be a spiritual child support.
The black token was the friends you made along the way.
Mhm.
Tromlin.
I will reveal that you were the third option on the.
Oh, God.
Oh, I know.
Oh, no.
I know.
But
I
you hit like 50 votes. Everyone was kind of in the neighborhood of 50 votes, and then some massive competition between someone who really wanted Copernicus and someone who really wanted Fetid took off. And the final count, I can't remember exactly, but it was something like 560 votes for Fetid and just over 600 for Copernicus. So you see why I felt the need to reward that.
Yeah. 23 on a history roll. I'm just going to run with it. Ugna, I happen to know that orcs are quite a bit more capable and intelligent than hobgoblins.
Yeah.
I have
Racist.
seen, I have seen records of hobgoblin armies with trained owlbears as mounts, I am confident that you will be able to train this creature up as a suitable companion, but perhaps not a mount because it's short most of one leg and you're
Yeah.
large. But I think the two of you will get on just fine.
Oh, he's so cute. Look at him.
I promise I will make sure he does not go hungry, okay?
Thanks,
mean, we've got-
Tromlin.
Got unlimited mayonnaise, so I think at worst he might need like a multivitamin.
Yeah. I mean, and once he gets bigger too, I think I can keep him from running amok, and I'll teach him real good.
He does need more than just the mayonnaise food group.
I don't know. I do okay with just mayonnaise. I just ate mayonnaise for a year. I turned out all right after that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not eating just mayonnaise.
My,
He's going to
my
have.
scales were like so like smooth and shiny. It was great.
All right. As we break camp that night, Trum's like, "I'm sorry, I'm not taking a watch. I've been beaten to shit all day. I'm laying down."
Covered in owlbear saliva and
I have seen
matter
the open
and
maw of 3 owlbears in less than 12 hours,
yep.
and probably have whiplash.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And
I'm going
PTSD.
I'll give
and-
you like a massage before bed to try and loosen it up a little bit.
I'm going to also go back to reading that book where I left off.
Oh, well, excellent in that case. Well, to wrap up then, since we're nearly at the end of our time, the night passes without event, and the next day you're able to get back on the major road and head back towards Ravenfall with profuse thanks to your friend Hollis, whose possession of the magic cask and his assistance in your journey here has been invaluable.
Bobby, seeing where that cask has been, you are welcome to it with my blessing. Been in my family for 3 centuries. I'll just have someone make another.
It's like the ship
Fair.
of Theseus, but
You are most kind.
But you will discover when you dig a little more into the book. So you go back to that page where you saw Copernicus's name, and you had been reading about Marion Sunshine, and you had noticed the spot where she was the daughter of Captain Thaddeus Sunshine. A little bit more information about Thaddeus is in there. He was Sea Lord, one of the Sea Lords of Evermere, so on the Council of Captains. That
Evermere is the
rule
Elven area, isn't it?
Evermere. No, Evermere is the. Actually, why don't you pull up the map one last time here,
Yeah.
Lena? I'm just double
Do you have
checking
it on
that
the
the right
right,
one is
the
active. Yep,
right one?
I do. Yep.
Cool. All right. On the map.
And you can center it in the on put the island right in the middle if you want. Might want to zoom out slightly. Yeah, you need to zoom out a second there so we can see Evermere and a few other things. So Evermere is the big island in the Sea of Evermere, where a lot of pirate types live. And it is ruled by a Sea Lord, but also a council of captains. Everyone who has a significant ship has a bit of political say in Evermere. Thaddeus Sunshine died some years ago, but his son Darius continues to hold the seat on the council and is in the book. Marion Sunshine's mother was Larissa Malgain, daughter of Lord Sandrick Malgain of the Greensward, another one of the minor houses. So obviously your dad would not have married her if she didn't have a noble line. At least that's the impression you get about your dad.
Yeah.
However,
I wonder how he liked that note.
yeah, Captain Thaddeus has a somewhat confused line going further back. It's not clear in there's no actual like genealogy line. There's lines with question marks. Thaddeus himself is supposedly the son or maybe grandson of someone called Polonius Sunshine, who seems to be a semi-legendary figure. There's question marks around him, but he is said to be the father of Albania Sunshine, a powerful magus who runs a magic school called the Sunshine School for Peculiar Youngsters in the city of Dwimmerdell.
Oh, good.
If you want to zoom out on that map a little
Yeah.
bit further, you can actually see all of these places on the map at once.
Dwimmerdell.
The genealogy also notes that there's a question mark in some branch of the Sunshine family a generation or two before Polonius that apparently took the name Lucidia, which is an Ibetian variation of the name Sunshine. And there's a note that Maestro Vittorio Lucidia of Karsh, who is an advisor to the king, is in the family. Right, so obviously the Boltries wanted to note that they're related to this important person, but the actual line is like all question marks somewhere back in the line. And of course, you've met Vittorio Lucidia's son, Don Emilio, the merchant who operates in Mud Hollow. And Copernicus is also there with a question mark line listed as a cousin question mark of the Maestro. And that's where the footnote is. And the footnote down below says, and I'm going to quote this to you. So the footnote is I, comma, IV question mark, comma, V question mark. And then the text named after an ancestor from Morwindle question mark.
Ancestor from Morwindle.
So from the footnote, it appears that whoever's done this genealogy has indicated that Copernicus Sunshine, who claims to be a cousin of the Maestro, which you know is your Copernicus Sunshine, is either the third, the fourth, or the fifth of the same name, apparently named after an ancestor from the city of Morwindle.
Good to know. I'm assuming nowhere in the book I'm mentioned. I'm completely scrubbed.
You are not mentioned at all. The children of Ammond and Marion are 100% listed. They are your three siblings, and there is nothing there to indicate your own.
You're the eldest, right?
Yes, that means I would inherit everything.
Yeah.
If I was recognized or alive.
Yeah.
Which my father now, assuming he's not a total fucking idiot,
Might have figured it out, yeah.
him and mom might realize that they did not do a good job of dropping the baby off.
Yep.
A cliff.
Lothric is the next oldest, of course. Your brother. Half brother. No, brother.
Who I stole a shitload from.
Yeah, you stole his jewelry box.
Can't wait to fence all of it. Fuck him. Little shit.
Yeah, and from there, you guys get back to Ravenfall and can say your goodbyes. Hollis is able to successfully say to his companions that, to his satisfaction, he has fulfilled the obligation. Of course, the rest of the contingent of dwarves are kind of like, sure, because they didn't feel particularly obligated, but they know better than to argue.
Hollis, you are a scholar and a gentleman. We could not have done this without you. We appreciate your kindness.
I deeply appreciate your willingness to allow me to discharge my debt to you without being the one beneath the owlbear.
Speaking of distance,
Hollis, yeah, Hollis, I couldn't have done that to you. It just seemed goddamn wrong.
I was surprised that you were able to do it to yourself.
The other dwarves are all like, what the hell are they talking
I owe
about?
you a lot, Tromlin. Just
You don't owe me
just
a
let me
thing.
know.
We're family. We take care of each other.
On her knee.
I say, yeah, I have like a traveling pouch on my chest. It's kind of like
Oh,
a baby
God.
Bjorn, but like
It's
with
a
like wraps.
it's a
so
real
that-
baby Bjorn.
It's a real baby Bjorn, so that
It's
the
a
bear
baby owl
can't claw
Bjorn.
anybody. So it's got his little paws all tucked in.
In Ravenfell, while we're there, I will try to get a good container of actual milk, cow milk, and also like just like meat I can stew and get like the
You
gristle.
start feeding this creature
Yep.
something other than
I will
mayonnaise.
get all the gristle and oil off of it
Oh,
and put that into make the formula for it.
We
And,
can start with that next time.
good.
Purdy has a project to start blood crafting a prosthetic
For his
so
little
that
foot.
practice mobility.
Say,
And once
yeah.
I have a good fit and we've done a bunch of iterations, I'm gonna basically like roll it around on paper and trace it so that Don Emilio can build like a more mobile.
Well, maybe
one.
not Don Emilio, but
But
remember,
Sal.
this is what
Oh,
the
yeah, so the
maestro is famous for. The maestro
Yeah,
is the mad inventor.
Oh,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. So I'm gonna, and what I might do is take rubbings from different days so we can get a sense of how fast it's growing, and then he'll get a sense of like, does it need to be adjustable and all that. But I'll do a bunch of iterations and send him all my notes and
Yay.
see what he comes up with. And I'll say, and scratch the order on the owlbear milk preserving container. Got that covered.
No longer necessary.
I am torn between calling this owlbear marshmallow and sweet roll.
Oh my god.
And as you're taking your leave here, I'll
Think about
remind
this in
you
between games.
that I'll remind you that you were asking Hollis about dwarf runes
Yes.
Yes.
and the rune magic, and he had extended an invitation to you to come at some point to Rockspire, where the real experts are.
I think
And
we,
so-
I assume we will do at some point because that's
Yeah.
important.
So with that, I think we'll end it there, and obviously we will be seeing. This won't be the last you see of Hollis Rockabilly. We're keeping the door open as always for all of our guests. So let's thank Howard
Yes.
for coming and enduring these ridiculous adventures.
enabling, not just enduring.
Yeah.
It's. I dropped a couple of F-bombs and I made a Miracle Whip joke. I feel like I'm playing, up to par with the group.
Yeah, more or less.
Yep.
Oh no, you were great.
Yeah. Very much.
And
I'm sad you won't be a regular in their group. You'd be fine.
Yeah.
well,
It's
as
all
I
good.
said before, we're gonna have our guests. I made sure every one of these guest characters is a character who we can have recur at some point. And I'm not certain yet. We may or may not have Danielle back next time. I'm not sure exactly
forget
when
when she's
Danielle's
back,
going to be
yeah.
settled back in. Sometime in February.
Right.
So we'll see.
Mhm.
So yeah, that's it for tonight, everybody. Thanks for coming. Thank you to the chatters. That was a heck of an engagement with those votes. I love it. I'm sure everyone will enjoy the results of their black tokens. I'm very amused that the black token that I was going to give Fetid has now become like a black token I'll give Ugna later, but in the meantime is actually a good thing.
Yep.
I mean, come on, baby owlbear. You
It's
knew.
baby
who done.
owlbear.
Yeah.
I need an owlbear.
Yep.
This is
And
happening.
I checked D&D. I checked D&D Beyond. You can totally tame those.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah.
I
Yeah.
saw your post.
I was like, I am willing to take a level of ranger or whatever I need to make this happen.
I mean,
Excellent.
All you need
What
to be
level-
willing to do is always be about 10 hit points below where you wanted to
Yes.
be
Yes.
every day.
And my arms are just scratches,
Yeah.
just beak marks.
Yep.
It's like having a
Alright,
macaw.
I feel like after this adventure, like Tromlin should take a level of sucker.
Yeah.
Is bait a class now?
So yeah, the usual for our end stream. Anybody have any stuff to shout out? We'll go around and talk about anything anybody wants to throw out there.
I've got a new stream starting on Wednesdays. Brand new campaign we just started playing last week. You can check us out at twitch.tv/PT Adventurers. It's fun. We got 4 players. We're all playing highly magical characters, so we will get our butts kicked a lot. But it's called Strange Magic, because there will be a lot of strange magic. So come check us out Wednesday, 6 p.m. PST, 9 p.m. EST.
And are you gonna clone that on your are people on your channel gonna get word of it or anything like that? Yeah,
If I can set
cool.
that up, yeah. Otherwise, just follow me on Twitter.
Cool. Anybody else? No current projects. It's all good. We do
I
this like
will-
every 2 weeks.
Need you to roll me a d17.
Yep. So
Or
we
sorry,
are now
D16.
rolling D16. Are you including?
D16.
Don't forget to include
They're included.
the high. Okay. Excellent. So it is time for the art draw. 6.
6 is Sutobes.
Sutobes. Like 2 words?
SUTTOBS 1.
Excellent. You have won the latest draw. So you will be getting your sketch card at
Sweet.
some point in the near future. And as always, I would like to shout out my Shadow DM, Dan. Thanks for all your help, Dan. And yeah, am I forgetting anything? I don't think
Thank you,
so.
everyone. Thank
Yeah.
you, Lar.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Laura.
and thanks, Lar, for
Oh.
realizing our horrible
Lar,
things.
go check out Lars MS
Yep.
charity
Yes, that's true.
caricatures.
Oh, Pete, didn't you want to shout out Brunetto t-shirts?
Oh, actually, yeah.
Yes.
let's do that.
do.
Yes.
Yeah, so I just wanted to because we're not doing a lot of conventions, so we're not like going out and selling stuff as much. But this is like just a family-owned business that we've been using for years for like pretty much all of our shirts.
Literally
for
a
the US
decade.
shows. Yeah,
Almost every
and
single shirt I ever made was
Yeah.
made by.
They
Yeah.
were there when I started in 2001.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. They do almost all of the Topatico shirts.
yeah,
And
but they do really
they
low
do
minimums.
High
So like
quality.
yeah, high quality shirts and low minimums. Like I've been struggling to find a Canadian vendor that does shirts like where it's affordable to get 12 shirts done to try out a design. So like if you have like a corporate thing or you just want to design your own shirt for the first time and not spend a ton
Yeah.
of money on a giant print run, like check out Brunetto t-shirts. Cannot recommend them enough. And just
I'm gonna
yeah,
put theirs
I
in the
would-
chat.
Yeah.
I have no
Because
orders to
they're
place
great.
this year, but I really like seeing them succeed.
They're
so-
amazing, and yeah.
Well, hopefully we'll have an order to place for Gen Con.
Yeah.
We'll see how that goes.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Dump this in the chat.
And for anybody, I guess I'll shout out if anybody in the chat is likely to come. I think just about all of us. Howard, are you going to do Gen Con this year, or are you giving it a miss?
Oh, yes, we are currently on track for Gen Con.
So you can see all of us at Gen
Yep.
Con this year. So
And the plan is for
Okay.
I share a booth with Jim Zub and with Tracy Hickman. So
Which is very cool.
and I will
Party.
say on the stream that I was talking to Jim Zub about doing a guest spot. So we can look forward to that. in the months to come.
amazing.
Yup.
Good stuff.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you again, everybody. We'll see you in 2 weeks. Not 100% sure if it'll be Friday or Saturday next time. I need to double check
Right.
that,
Right.
but we will
we'll
announce
let you know.
in plenty of time.
Cool.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.